Okay, so I'm going to share my screen. Occasionally, let me know if you can't see my screen, but otherwise, I'll just assume you can. So today's
Yes.
topic is aged leads. So what we're going to cover is how to automate actions and emails and things of that nature to people who are, they haven't really responded in a timely manner to you, but you still want to keep in touch with them. So we're going to cover a couple of little things here, as far as some ideas for automations that might be useful, but also we're going to go kind of in depth through the topics we've covered throughout this week, because you're not going to do too much with those aged leads. You're going to let the system do it for the most part. But I want to show you very specifically, kind of step by step, how you would do each of these actions. So the first thing you would do if you don't have a status option for aged leads is you would go to settings, status options, edit, add a new status option. The group would be leads. If you only have a default group, you can put them in that default, but I like to have it broken out by leads, clients, etc. Then this is going to be aged leads. And the sort order will be kind of towards the bottom of the lead list. So if you've got like new lead, second attempt, third attempt, fourth attempt, final attempt, then aged lead, for example. So we can put them at number 10 or whatever you want to do. If you want to see how many aged leads you have in your system, you can show them in the tally, which is that show lead count option, and then put them into that count sort order. And I typically do the same sort order for both. So the sort order of where it appears in the list of all the different status options versus the tally sort order. So what do I mean by that? If we go to leads, the sort order refers to lead status and then one, two, three, four, etc. And then, oh, I thought that I put aged leads in here. Did I put it in archive? I put it in archive. So I put it into the status group of archive. So that way it was a little bit further down the list. Um, Choose your choice, whatever you want to do. But there it is in that list. So that's the sort order for that first part of it. Then the count sort order is what's up here. So here I see um, one new lead, then this is the second, the third, or whatever it is, right? So this is the count sort order where I can look at that there. So if I did show it in the count sort order, it would appear in this tally list where I can say, oh, I've got two leads. So I'm going to click on that and quickly filter. That didn't work. Reset the filters. But this is how you can like jump to the fact that I've got one new lead and now it's filtered down there by new lead. And I'll reset the filters. Okay. So that's how you do that part. So add in the lead status. Then as people become aged leads, we'll be able to automate a workflow for them. The second part, which we covered on Monday, is we would build an email template for those aged leads. So maybe like 3 months after you stop, the 3 months after you put them to the status of new lead, you might want to have an email template. So add email template. We'll do aged lead number one, checking back in on your insurance needs. And then this is where you would put in the field name of agent name. So this is hashtag agent name hashtag. And so this is saying the hashtags are basically saying, hey, system, pull from this field name. So that way, the assigned agent's name as it appears in their account My Information section would appear here. Or the from email address would be hashtag agent email hashtag saying, pull from the field name in account my information for the agent's email. This is even more important if you're a single agent. You really want to use this even though you're single, because you might have to update your email address. Like maybe you've been using an old Hotmail account and it gets compromised. Or if you just want to get a professional email rather than using a more personalized one. This is how the system can update those templates rather than you having to go through and edit every single one. You can BCC yourself on it, but again, they're aged leads. They're not really like doing that much for you. So let the system do the work. I wouldn't really worry about that. If you make the template available to all users, you can then utilize this template in the lead file where it has send email. Otherwise, it just won't appear in that list. And I think since this is a kind of a more background action, we don't need to see that. Then, if we've saved any of our rows for our signature lines, we'll go to rows and then my saved rows. So you change it from empty to my saved rows. And you just drag over your signature line. And then you'll drag over your footer. Let's see here. My saved rows. Let me get out of full screen mode. Sometimes it makes it so that way I can't grab things. If you've got like a CMS disclaimer, you can drag that over. Okay, then you'll go over here to the content option again. Let me try to make this smaller. No, that's not what the problem was. Okay, then you're going to go drag over the paragraph content. You have to drag it where it says drag it here. You can't just be like, I want it over here. It's for formatting purposes. And if you have questions on the templates, feel free to ask in the chat. Otherwise, we can do that at the end of the session. But also, you do have the recording from Monday's in-depth session on how to build email templates. But then you're going to say hello, and then use the merge tags. Again, this is the field name for that record first name. So hello, record first name. We spoke a few months ago about your insurance needs. Have you found a plan that's working for you? If not, I am happy to have another meeting. My schedule is here for you to choose from, or simply call or write back to me and we'll get something scheduled. So then you'll use merge tags. And then a nice little tip is you can hit Command F to do a little find. So that way you can say calendar link. And then it'll find the agent calendar link there. You'll want to highlight it so that way it's editable. Copy that, then hit this link icon. And here we can paste in that URL of agent calendar link. Also note, we did discuss this on Monday, but you have other options for that link. You can also make it an email. You can also make it a file so that way it links to a PDF. You could make it a telephone number or an SMS. This is a way for you to have actions in your email. Something we spoke about on Monday again is you want that to be, excuse me, you want your emails to be as specific as possible, but really also action oriented. Like you're asking them to do a task, right? And make it as simple for them as possible to complete that task of booking the meeting or writing back and calling, you know? So you could also do, or simply call, if we highlight that. Now I'll hit this little link. I'll do the telephone number this time. And then I just put in agent phone hashtag, and that would link my phone number to that. So if they hit the call, it would automatically launch from their smartphone. That's only available on smartphones, or if they have like FaceTime or Skype or something like that set up on their desktop computer. Okay, so now we've built this template. And basically, we're just asking them, like, hey, I'm checking in with you. Book a meeting with me if you want to. Otherwise, peace out, right? So that's how we set that template. And then we're going to save. You always want to test your templates. And the way to do so would be to hit send sample. You then send a sample to yourself or to other people. You can have Danielle at radiusbob.com, whatever you want to do. Send that sample and then test it, make sure it looks good. Once you've done that, you can hit copy. So we're going to create, instead of copy of each lead, we'll remove that and name it age lead number 2. And then maybe we do something very simple like, checking, maybe we say the same exact email subject line. Maybe we don't tweak it at all. Now that it's been around 6 months of you inquiring on your insurance plan. So again, we're making it specific to what the context of this email is. Options. Now that it's been around 6 months, are you satisfied with your plan and the service you're getting from your agent? If not, my schedule is here, right? So you're giving them the context of why you're reaching out to them again. And pretty much that's most likely all you need, right? You also might have a birthday template. You could also make that birthday template specific to them. You could also create templates for cross-selling. So if you in the past only sold Medicare, but they were really interested in ACA or life insurance, you could have an email template that's specific to them, where you say aged leads, copy, aged lead life. Now offering life insurance options. And then you could say something to the effect of, we'd spoken a while ago and I was only at that time selling health and Medicare. We'd briefly discussed life insurance, and I'm now a licensed agent for life as well. Do you still need a policy for life? If so, my schedule is here for you to choose from, right? So we're just utilizing this as a way for you to message to them in bulk when you actually are licensed for that. Save. I see a question. Check that for you. Yes. So Laura is asking about the PDF document and where it's stored. And then also Haley's asking about saved rows. So let me take the time and do that. So here, let's go into this aged lead. So you've got a few options on this, on the PDF. Here, do you see where it says special links? This attachments is pulling from your settings and then your website link and attachments. So in settings, website links, and file attachments, you can upload general documents. For carrier attachments, where you go into settings, carriers, you edit the carrier and then add in documents into the document tab, then you can also have those carrier attachments in the special link. But you can also say in the merge tab, or if you hit download here, like download PDF here of all of your options. Maybe it was in that life call out where you want to do that. Then you hit this little insert link, file manager, and you're going to upload it directly into the template. So we're going to go to files, upload. Here's a PDF. I'm going to upload that. And then I insert that. Okay. So that PDF is available for download there. You can also do it if you wanted to, if you wanted to drag over an image content and then, let's see, search for free photos. Gonna see, download. Let's do this one. Too big, so I'm going to change it. Apply effects. Size. Still probably too big, but anyway, what you can then do is if you scroll down here on the right, you have the option for that special link again, where it's the internal documents or the carrier documents, or you can hit link file. And you'll simply select the file that you've already uploaded or upload a new file. So that's how you can do that. We also have this button. However, it's not been rendering properly in Gmail, so I don't really recommend this. I used to always, because it's super easy. Like it's like download schedule of benefits here. And then you just do that link file over on the right-hand side again as that action. But it hasn't been working properly, so image is the preferred way to do it right now at the very least. So just be aware of that. And you can resize this. I'm just not going to take the time because I do want to get onto the other topics of this. And then I do want to show saved rows again. So let's say, wait, there's another question. So Laura wanted clarification. So when I'm saying internal links, that's, I'll show you after this where those are stored. So when I'm showing this, where the special links are and this attachments list is, that's done in settings, file, settings and website links and attachments. And I'll show you that in a moment, but I have to go on to another screen. So let me do that later. Okay, now I want to address the saved rows. So when you build a signature line, you don't want to really have to do it every single time or whatever. So what you can do is save the row. So if you click to the right of the row, so this is like this content option, this content option, and this content option. And now to the right of the row, now I've got that save option. If I hit save here, because I've already saved it as a row, it's going to ask me if I want to save it as a new row or if I want to update the row. Most likely I'm going to update it. So this is called new signature, and I'm going to save it as an update. But if I was to build a row, so let me say, this row has, I want to have a paragraph and a paragraph. So this is going to be my footer. So this is going to be copyright 2025 best insurance. And then my physical address that I'm supposed to have on the bottom of every email template. And then maybe this is my CMS disclaimer, right? So now this is brilliant. So I'm going to hit my row. I'm going to save it and I'm going to call this row footer. And I'm going to put it to a category of my saved rows and hit save. You can't just save a content image. Like you can't just only save this one image, right? The system is already loading that for you. You can't just save this part of the agent's signature. You have to save the full row. You can't save just the content element. We have, suggested that to the developer that you could save the content element rather than the full row, but that has not been released yet. So currently you would go to rows, then my saved rows, and you would drag over whatever you want to drag over as that saved row. Haley, does that help? Okay, great. So now, once we've saved this beautiful template, okay, now I'm going to go down to settings and show you where you can add in those more generalized PDFs and attachments. So in settings, you are going to go to website links and attachments. Edit. You can scroll down and this is where you can add a new file that says agency details. Browse. And this might be a PDF about like all of the info on your agency. And now that is available as a link, or sorry, as an attachment as you're sending an email or as you're creating an email template. And so if I drag over an image, let me drag over this and this. Okay, now if I scroll down here to add the action of special links, attachments, oops, where is it? New. We might have to just do it up in here in this case. Let me see if I am in templates, if I can do that. There we go. There it is in the template editor. You can save that link. So special is, so go into templates or drips if you've been with us for a while, special links, and then attachments, and then select that specific internal document. Okay, so that's how to build the template. Now let's go to how to automate this. Settings, automated workflows. My recommendation is that you build a final attempt workflow. So this is the trigger. So this is for final attempt needed. So I'll name it that. I'll stop the workflow if it no longer matches criteria. This is very important because on the final attempt, you might reach them and they're like, yeah, I want insurance with you. And so you quote them and you move them to a status of quoted. and therefore they won't get any other of the follow-up actions for that final attempt needed. This would be for leads with the status of, you have to check that box. So status of final attempt needed. Now I'm going to scroll down, save that workflow. That's the trigger. Anytime a lead is with a status of final attempt needed, any of the actions we're about to build will go out to them. Add action. So the first thing that I'm going to do is remove from the previous call queue, because I don't want them in my third attempt needed or whatever my ones are. So 2 minutes after, I'm going to remove them from the third attempt needed. So that was my previous call queue. Save action. And then add action. Tomorrow, I'm going to add them into my final attempt call queue. So 1 day later, they get into final attempt needed. Save that action. Maybe a day later, I send them an email saying, so 2 days from when the trigger was pulled, to the record, I'm going to say, final, let me see if I've got a final one. Nope. So we would have a template for something like, you know, last email attempt or whatever it is. Save. Then what I'm going to do is remove them from all call queues after a certain amount of time. So after 1 week, 1 week, I'll remove them from all call queues, just in case they're stuck in like a previous queue for whatever reason. Now I'm going to add another action. So I'm going to reassign the record status automatically 2 weeks later to aged lead. Where are you? There you are. Aged lead. Now they will get removed from this workflow because they're no longer final attempt needed, but now we can automate against the aged lead status. Any questions on how to do these actions before we go on to the actual build of the aged lead workflow? Okay. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go to Workflow Home, add workflow, and create my aged lead workflow for leads with the status of aged lead. And again, I will keep the stop workflow checked because if on the first time that I reach out to them again a month later or 3 months later, they write back to me and I quote them, I don't want them getting, you know, marketing content that's not relevant to them. Save. Scroll down, add action. So they became an aged lead, you know, basically 2 weeks after our final attempt. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to send them an email 3 months later to the record using the email template of aged lead number 1. Save action. I'm going to add another one of send email 6 months later. Again, from when the trigger was pulled, not from the previous action, of aged lead 2. Save. And that's pretty much all I need to do. Because by the time that you get around to month 9, you're probably in open enrollment, and they'll just be part of that open enrollment campaign that you're going to do in general. So you're going to kind of almost treat them as a new lead, or you could have a specific supplemental campaign that says, hey, we talked, you know, about 9 months ago. I just wanted to reach out during open enrollment, see if you have any needs. You can make it specific to them if you want to. Okay. So let's talk about how you can market to them during the year in a more specific way. So what you can do is, let's pretend we have a lead come in and this person is saying, yeah, I need this, and this. And you don't offer life insurance. So, I'm not interested. So what I could do is have a tag of upsell. Oops, I don't have the tag in there. Let's get one. Settings, tags, edit. I'm going to say upsell to life. Maybe upsell to dental, whatever upsells you want for that person, right? A nice little quick trick is you can go back into your recently viewed leads by clicking on this little people icon and just go in that way. Okay. So I'm talking to her and she's like, I'm really interested in life insurance predominantly. And you're like, well, I'm considering getting licensed for that. So, I'll reach back to you if I ever get licensed and I'm up and running on that. So now she's tagged with that. So this is a really good thing if you're considering expanding your offerings, right? You talk to them, they say they're interested in it. You could report on that tag to be like, wow, I could really have a good business if I also get licensed for this other coverage. So now what I would do is I would go to mass email. I would send it to my leads and clients who are tagged with upsell, or I could more specifically send it to those people that are aged leads who have that life upsell tag. Where's my tagged with? Tagged with upsell to life. Now, this is when I would send that template of aged lead life and schedule that. So this is a way for you to do a mass email to all of those people. You'll notice below that it's trying to tell me you've got 0 leads with that, so don't send that. Or maybe you didn't tag people or put them to the right status as you thought. Sorry about that. So if I remove the criteria, you'll see that hopefully goes up to 1. So if I remove that aged lead, I should have 1 lead selected now. Ooh, gosh, keeps jumping. Sorry about that. Okay, so 1 lead would get this email. You can deliver it immediately, but I like deliver later. The reason why is that if I set this to a specific time and I hit schedule, it's not going to let me because I don't have my SMTP set up. But if I did have my SMTP set up, it would say that it was scheduled and I could delete that if I wanted to. So if you wanted to schedule it and then edit it later, you could do so. So I always like scheduling it just for like an extra buffer. Any questions on that? Okay. And then also the benefit of this aged lead status is then when you're slow and you're like, you know what, I just want to do some phone calls of people that I haven't talked to in a while. You can literally just go through, set the status, and then you're going to say, great, these are the list of the people that I could call just as like, trying to expand my book of business from people that I've already gotten in contact with. It's just another way to keep you more organized and then utilize your time during the slow period. I see some questions. Okay, not a problem, Robin. So Laura's asking about spell and grammar check to be implemented when writing the email templates. You actually, I think that the reason why we don't have that automatically is because most computer systems have it already for you. And I will ask the template editor people to do that, but yeah, it's really like I have it in here. I think so. I do this. See, it is showing me the fact that this is spelled wrong. So it's giving me those little red dots. But I think that is a browser editor, a browser spell check, grammar check, rather than something else. And I think on an email template, they don't want to try to change your grammar because it could be something like choose from this hyperlink, right? So that hyperlink is actually not grammatically correct. But nonetheless, it's needed and necessary. So that's, I think, one of the reasons why. So you should be able to put something onto your browser to have a spell check. Any other questions on this? Okay. You can also do reports. If you're tracking aged leads, you could build a very quick saved report for leads with, you know, the status of aged lead, which I don't think that I have anybody. So I'll just search for them and now I'm going to remove them. So that way we have some results here. But then you can also do it with the cross-reference of tagged with or whatever. And then if you display that report, you can then use that list to contact people. So if you're like, I want to do a call campaign to all these people, you can go into this, call them, go into the next person in the list, call them. You could also do this as a saved report. So that way, if you've got our AMS plan, you can just run it as a dial queue. Acacia put in some helpful tools with the enhanced spell check into the chat. So please check that out. Thank you for doing that, Acacia. Laura's asking about for MedSup, we get notification for rate increases from carriers for specific states and plans. Is there a way when we get Aetna Plan G increasing 12% in North Carolina to set something up that will email the clients that meet that criteria? Absolutely. And that's a really good use of the mass email option. So this would be for clients with the status of active. Oh, sorry, with the policy status of active with MedSup as the coverage type. So we want to do this based off of the policy because the client might have multiple policies. So supplement with the carrier of Aetna, with the product of Plan G, pretend that I have that, with the policy status of active, with the state of North Carolina. So that would be your criteria for that email. It will give you how many people are set for that. Make sure that it kind of matches your expectation. Then you're going to choose the email template that you've created for that rate increase. And then schedule. But the critical part of this is choosing clients who have the following details. Does that answer your question, Laura? Great. Just going to hover on this in case people want to take screenshots of that mass email option. You could also do it as an automated workflow if you needed to do messaging over time. But I think that in Laura's example, that really is just like a one-time email to those specific people. So I think that's the way to do it. Anybody else? Any other questions? Good. Well, hopefully this helps you to know how to work those leads that like I've seen clients actually or agents delete people who are age leads. Never do that. That's out of compliance. You need to keep a record history of all the people that you've communicated with for like 10 years. So don't do that. Just move them to a status of age lead so that they're out of your normal bucket, right? But then the system can like work with them in the back end for you. They can also be receiving the general emails like newsletter or birthday templates that you've automated and things like that. So the more they see your name, the more likely they'll choose you as their agent when they are looking for an agent again. It's a way for the system to do the work for you and not have you have the heavy lifting of trying to, maintain your aged lead book of business.
Hey, Danielle.
Yes,
Hey, I have a quick question, just something I
please.
noticed for working in workflows. With my workflow of turning 65 in 6 months, right? That sends me a text and creates a task and has a micro eligible tag. Um, but the stop workflow, if record no longer matches criteria, checkbox. Would I want to not have that check in this scenario because it's going off the criteria 180 days before 65th birthday?
Mhm.
Um, does that make sense? I don't know. I guess I kind of looked at that and I don't know if having the box check in some scenarios is going to screw up what we're trying to do.
The only thing that I would say with that is, especially if you've got a larger book of business, I would still leave it checked because of the fact you probably want to do not tagged with deceased, because you don't want to message somebody about their 65th birthday if they've just passed away, because the the spouse or um the person checking their email or having a shared email might get upset. I mean, it is what it is, but like that's one of the examples of why I would still have stop workflow checked in that example. I do that also for birthday messages of not tagged with deceased. um so that's an option for you. But otherwise, yeah, you can definitely do it. I just don't think that there's any harm in leaving this up there. Um, but you can take it off. That's fine.
I mean, I guess because the following day they're no longer 180 days before the 65th
Oh, no, no, no,
birthday.
no. That's just when the trigger happens. Thank you. So I think what Laura's question is, is let's say this is for 265. Let's say it's for leads and clients. And then this is not tagged with deceased, but it's for everybody else. And then we're going to do on date before, so 180 days before turning 65. This is just when the trigger starts. The it will still continue to match against the rest of these things. So the criteria is not dependent upon them matching 180 days before their 65th birthday. This is just when the trigger starts. It's all of this other criteria that would be like if they were a status of active and then you moved them to a status of canceled, for example. So it's these actions up here that are going to be matched again. So don't worry about the date being different. We would still save that workflow and then have action 1 go out minute 1, action 2 go out a week later, action 3. So this is just when it starts on the date of, but you can have multiple actions. Does that clarify that for you?
Yes, it does.
Great. Okay. Hopefully that made sense to everybody else. But basically, I think that that's a great question. I've never even thought of that before, but stop workflow if no longer matches criteria applies to these things and not this on date. Okay. Any other questions? Great. Well, I hope this week was helpful for you. Going through things in kind of a more systematic way. Use your book of business throughout the year in an automated fashion so that way you can keep up. Pull reports though in your slow time so you can target people. And if you're expanding your coverage options, then also message to people when you get licensed for those things. So, I would just really recommend utilizing these back end automations to keep touching these people So that way, hopefully the system can help you capture some new clients and expand your book of business throughout the year through very little lift on your end. Once you get that email template set up, that's the hardest part, right? Like getting the messaging together is the hardest part. But hopefully, you know, you have those tools to get that work done and automate it. Also, just note you can join client work sessions where Acacia and I will hand hold you through these steps. So if you're getting stuck on something, or even if you just want us to review a workflow that you've already set up and you're like, hey, how do I do X, Y, or Z? We can look at that for you and walk you through step by step, or give you our best advice. We are not agents, but we know the system well enough to kind of give you ideas and information on best practices or just, you know, general uses that could really help make things more and more specific and help you grow your business. All right, everybody, have a beautiful day. Keep us posted in the Help app with any questions you have and join those client work sessions.
Thank you so much, Danielle.
Absolutely, my pleasure. All right, bye.